I had something incredible happen to me that makes me feel such an insane feeling of imposter syndrome. As many of you know, especially if you're here from TikTok or watch one of my previous videos, I teach world history using the video game Civilization 5. If you want to check out that video, if I remember, I'll make a card or link it. In that video, I talk about some issues with teaching through Civilization 5, primarily being that it's a pretty old game that's not really supported. The kids can tell it's an old game and they're kind of picky sometimes with that. And most importantly, because it's no longer supported, there can be some pretty horrible desyncing issues. However, I work at a pretty poor school, and the idea that they bought me that one really old game was a really big deal and took a reasonable amount of fighting for it. But we make the best of it. It's still a really cool class. However, earlier this week, I was contacted by the social media manager for Amplitude Studios, who had seen my TikToks talking about world history through gaming and how I wish I had a newer game. We chatted for a bit, and the conversation ended up being Amplitude Studios donated 11 deluxe edition copies of Humankind. Humankind being the direct competitor to Civilization and is brand new. Like, the game came out like 2 or 3 months ago, brand new. 11, by the way, is the number I gave them because we only have 11 computers that we can play it on. And a fun fact with that game is that it's the only game I've pre-ordered in the past year. So I was kind of like starstruck when I was messaging back and forth with this person. Humankind is essentially really similar to Civilization in being a turn-based 4K game where you go from the Neolithic era all the way to the modern era. Some big differences include that you get to start before agriculture as a hunter-gatherer tribe in Humankind. You get to modify your civilization a little bit more in Humankind than in Civilization. And rather than having endgame victory conditions like in Civilization, there are goals that you can try to fulfill in each era that give you basically points. I can't remember what the points are called. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most points win. Those goals are measurements of being like a great civilization in Humankind. And so if you do enough of these things, that's what helps you win. And not all the goals are war. Often there's a bunch of other things that are involved. And I love that about the game. It's not about reaching one goal. It's about, at each given time, doing good things and doing interesting things. And the best part is, it's pretty transferable between Civilization and Humankind for what I'm doing in the class. The issue with all of this is that I'm already like a month and a half into my world history through gaming class, but I really wanted to take advantage of it. So I have 2 sections of world history through gaming, and I let each of the sections vote on if they wanted to stick with Civilization or change over to Humankind. One of the sections chose to switch to Humankind. One of the sections chose to stick with Civilization, which is kind of cool for me because it gives me an ability to just directly compare the two. The one annoying thing is the Humankind section of the class will have to totally start over as far as the game goes, so they're going to be a little bit behind the other class. But honestly, I'm not super worried about it. Also, before they start Humankind, so at the end of the weekend that I am filming this, I don't know when I'm going to post it, I have to go into the school and download all of the games on the computers, as well as create mini lessons for all the technologies, for all the civics, and any other interesting thing that is relevant to our class that they interact with in the game. Which I've already done all that legwork with Civilization, I just need to do it specifically for Humankind, so that I'm able to do little mini lessons more easily when they interact with those things in the game, and we can make it more relevant and weave together the traditional class and the game better. But I'm really excited for this opportunity, and I'm really grateful to Amplitude Studios for doing this. And this is not a sponsorship. They didn't pay me to do this. They just made a donation to the school because of the TikToks that they saw. And I love that. And I'm really excited to report back, both with how the kids like the game and which is better, Civilization or Humankind, to teach world history through gaming. Now, if you like videos like this or just like hanging out with me, you should check me out on other social medias. You should like and subscribe. Links are above me and in the description. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.